me. I want to, first of all, appreciate you for bringing up this program. Very, very insightful. I've also learned so far from all the keynote speakers. Yes, I will be talking of data intelligence from the education perspective, and more importantly, when we know or when we look at data intelligence generally, we are trying to see how data can be collected, can be analyzed, can be interpreted for educational purpose or to support educational informed decision making in education. So in education, we are undergoing activities that has to do with teaching and learning or that is related to teaching and learning. So data intelligence, whenever we use it or whenever it is being used, it can help to track learning performance over time. It can also help us to understand what is happening to our learners in terms of learning analytics, to know or to diagnose their learning journey over time. Whenever teachers or let's say educators use data, they use it to make informed decisions about performance. They also use it to track attendance and engagement of learners. Sometimes, when there is instruction in the classroom, there is need to do what we call diagnosis. Teachers need to diagnose what learners are really learning so that they can plan and correct or remediate learning. So it is through this data intelligence that they are able to do so. Especially the decision they are going to make from such data will be an informed decision. But let me now talk from the assessment palace. More importantly, assessment is trying to evaluate or let's say determine whether learning has taken place. So when the data set collected is wrong, assessment decisions will also be wrong. However, in this era of 4IR, in the fourth industrial revolution, we see data intelligence as being descriptive, trying to ensure that at least we are able to visualize examination scores, performance, so that we can identify the trends of student performance. We also see data intelligence as being diagnostic. More importantly, whenever you give assessments and you want to analyze the assessment items that students have gotten right, questions or items that students got wrong, so that you can also know their strength and weakness. Diagnostic in the sense that you can also see questions that generate misconceptions. In that case, data intelligence will help you do item analysis so that you will know whether it is the test takers that is having issue or even the test items that is having problem. And as a teacher, you can easily use that data to make decision about whether whether performance is based on a valid test or otherwise. At this level, data intelligence can also be predictive. More importantly, when we have data about students, we can use it to also make informed decision about or make inference rather about what is expected of the learner over time based on previous data about the learner or looking at the learner's learning journey. In the classroom, teachers can use data to try to look at, okay, students that are at the risk of failing, they will easily identify it from the trend that has occurred over time, given that it will serve as early warning and they will easily come into place by ensuring that they put in place all actionable remedy that can prevent such in the future. Similarly, they will see students that are high performers and efforts will be made to ensure that at least students in that category maintain and sustain that high performance over time. Another thing data intelligence does in education, especially with respect to assessment, is that it can help to also do what we call planning around teaching and learning, because it is assessment information that you have gathered over time through this data that you can use it to see which teaching method is working well, learners that need support and guidance, or is it that there's need for a curriculum readjustment and so on and so forth. So in this era of technology, or in this fourth industrial revolution, where we have tools that can be used to track performance over time, learning analytics is one of those things that need to be put in place, where assessment decisions or instructional decisions will be based on not just the learner's performance, or also on the teacher's track records about what curriculum content has been covered, to what extent it has been covered, what is the assessment pattern, assessment format used, and it will also help us to track engagement in real time. Thank God we are in the era of artificial intelligence. Students nowadays who are struggling with a lot of concepts can also be engaged to do what we call personalized learning. Teachers can also use artificial intelligence to personalize their content to cater for individual differences. Most of the time, schools can easily use data to easily identify the patterns across their learners, or within their learners, or comparing with other schools in the district or in nation at large. And as such, they will be able to understand their standing or where they belong. So data intelligence is so important in teaching and learning. In assessment, it can also inform what we call differentiated assessment, because by the time you want to assess learners, you can use multiple means, multiple approaches, you can try to use a lot of things. But with data, before you differentiate assessment, you first of all place them on a continuum, and data intelligence will then, from that continuum, help you identify the type of learner, so that at least divergently, you can then assess them given their ability levels. This will help us align with what we call universal design for learning. I am sure we all know that we have learning management system. It is because of data intelligence that this learning management system can help us track record over time, personalize learning, and show progress. This will help us promote equity and inclusion in education sector, and as well as enhance what we call quality education for all. Thank you for listening.
Wow, Dr. Shogbesan. I was about to actually say it is a, as you said, thank you. We have experts in this very gathering today. The people that are time conscious, extremely time conscious. And that is the beauty of the expertise and the experience that has been displayed so far. If it happened to be the amateur speakers, you'll be waving, waving, waving till we continue speaking until you off the mic. Thank you so much, Dr. Shogbesan.